Qarabaq 2, Chelsea 2. Where's the consistency in it? That's my main question again. Where's the consistency? You beat Spurs. You perform really well. I know Maresca made 7 changes. I saw the lineup. The lineup was good enough to beat Qarabaq. Do you know what I mean? And when I think about it, I just don't understand. The performance was poor. That whole left hand side was poor. Do you know what I mean? And some people say like, why did you start George instead of Gil? Why didn't you start the lap? Why didn't you start this? Why didn't bro? The team was good enough to beat Carib. I know that they're the underdog. They had to perform to in terms of to get the point. We looked like we could have won this game, or we should be winning the game. Fair enough. But every time we keep looking at it, I just don't understand why the team doesn't perform. I don't understand. Like every time it's someone's mistake. Every week someone else's mistake. For us to win a game very comfortably, basically no one has to make a mistake. Listen, before I continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel. 66.9% of people are not subscribed. We're on the way to 1K. Support the channel. We're at 193 away from 1K. And yeah, man, look, you can see I'm not really like in a very good mood. Do you get it? I'm surprised at the performance in it, but it's very Chelsea like in that aspect of like, why is it when I was speaking to Ches about this, big up to Ches the other day, and I said, yo, it's the complacency. We suffer from this complacency team, and for some reason we also like doing this thing where we match opposition's level. So if we go to a lower level team, we don't perform to our normal level. We only really perform against the big teams. That's you can't do that. That's not feasible throughout the season. Like, how does this work? How does this work? We'll go through the lineup. Sanchez started in goal. James and Cucurella were the fullbacks. The changes that were made from last game were Tosin and Hato started. Lavia Santos in the pivot. João Pedro in the 10. Esteban getting started this game, and then he had Tyreek George up front. For some reason, I even thought maybe this was stronger. Like maybe I would have rested João Pedro and played Bonanote. Maybe like those options there anyway. So the game starts. We have a couple opportunities. Santos, I think João Pedro in the beginning was good, and then the longer the game went on, the more he faded away. The more he held on to the ball, the more he just broke down some of our attacks because he wasn't just progressing the ball early. You look at a Gittins, he didn't necessarily. I don't think he was bad. I just think a lot of people were calling him bad because he didn't score, and at the same time, at that point in the game when he was getting the ball, either they were overhitting it, underhitting it to him, or they were trying to double up on him at some point as well. Besides that, I still don't think he did enough in the game to actually for me to say he was great. He wasn't really good either, but Estaval was active on the right hand side. Santos, I think, was all right. He missed the easy opportunity as well. Do you know what I mean? Around 10 minutes, Lavia goes down, muscle injury. I'm not going to speak too much on Lavia. You can see how much it affected him in terms of he wanted to be playing and stuff like that. I think he held the squad. A lot of his squad were hamstring, but look, not a good sign in it. Just as he started to get minutes, injured. So that's one thing. Then we move on to who else I wanted to speak about. Tosin and Hater. Look, out of the two in the back, it was Tosin who was, to be fair, the better centre back, as much as it's not easy to say. Um, Hato just kept making that similar mistake that led to the first goal. Just similar mistake. Like, he kept doing it and he just knew that it was going to, at some point, it will backfire. With their long balls, and they were trying to hit us on the transition, on the counter. It looked like we're putting the fires out. João Pedro puts a ball through to Santos, and then Santos passes it to Esteval. If we get the first goal, then they get their first goal from the mistake from Hato. I think they hit the post, and then it comes back, and I think the guy, was his name Andrade, whatever his name was, he scored that first goal. Yeah, And he was like, yeah, it's calm. It happens. Do you know what I mean? You concede. They're at home. We knew we were going to concede. Do you know what I mean? We like, it happened, didn't it? That's the thing about Chelsea. We either make a mistake, something will happen, we'll concede. It is what it is. Then we still don't create enough chances. And then the goalkeeper passes the ball to Hato. Hato gets put under pressure, tries to clear it, but then it goes behind him. He then tries to block the cross and he handballs it. Now, in that position, I'm looking at it. I know some people say, well, his hand was this and his hand was that, like an L shape. Well, he's trying to stick his leg out. Now, I don't get this whole handball rule like that no more. Do you get it? Because when Gabriel did this, it wasn't a handball. But when someone's doing like turning and doing this, yesterday it weren't a handball. Today, listen, is what it is. Still a mistake. He gave away the penalty. They scored the penalty. We're 2-1 down. We're going to half time. Obviously Caicedo had to end up coming on in around the 8th minute for Lavia. So essentially, we didn't really rest him. I mean, we wanted to rest him for this game, but we couldn't. So he played. So I think as soon as he come on, he had a shot as well, like a volley, which went over the bar. Besides that, like if I really think about it, who else? Who else can I talk about? That's how poor the game's been. Tyreek George wasn't really in the game. I don't even think he had an opportunity. I think he made one pass to Santos, who that's the city he missed, I think. Besides that, I don't know. Maybe we have to play him a bit more on the wings. Like this striker thing for George. I know he has a good connection with Gittins and they have good link up play together and that, but I don't want to see it, man. Do you get me? Just play Gu there. If he's gonna be the second striker, play Gu, bro. Don't play this George guy up front, bro. I don't understand it. He's not effective, especially in low blocks and that. You don't always get an opportunity, bro. And if you do, you need to score. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Going to Tosin, not necessarily comfortable in terms of what he was providing the team. It's Tosin. I think this season he hasn't really been good. So I mean he's been awful in terms of a lot of games. Not as dependable as he was last season when he came in. Whenever he came in, I think now it's just shaky. We couldn't play for Fana, obviously for obvious reasons. You already seen what happened with Lavia. So yeah, man. Other than that, second half, I think second half we brought on. We took off Tyreek Jordan Gittins, so that was Garnacho and Delap. So Delap got his second half, and I think Delap, to be honest, showed a lot of promise in my opinion. I think Delap showed a lot of promise. He has to sharp up his finishing. Obviously, he's come back from injury, so I don't necessarily he doesn't look as sharp as he did in pre-season and in the beginning of the season. But he has to obviously work on that. He has to become sharper. But you instantly saw him getting the ball and just passing it out wide and not holding on to it too long. He passed it out wide to Garnacho, who every time he has to dribble or control the ball, it's a duel. He has to fight with someone. He can't just. He had all the space in front of him. If that fell to Gittins, would probably get a goal. That's how easy it was. Either way, it deflected, hit someone else. I don't know what happened. Ended up coming back to him. He scored. Is what it is. Then our build-up play and everything was just poor. Like it was so poor because passing it around for like when you just have possession for possession's sake, like all that kind of stuff. And it was just one of those things for me where I don't understand what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand what's going on. So uh, when I looked at the fixtures for the draw that we got for the Champions League, I remember looking Bayern Munich, not an easy game at all. We could potentially lose there if we don't pattern up our problems. And this is when the draw happened. Benfica, we've already beaten them. I can see us beat them. Still could be a problem. At that time, obviously, Jose came in and it could have been a bit more of a more difficult game and that, but that's another thing. Then after Benfica, who was it that we played? Ajax. That was a guaranteed 3 points. Regardless of what everyone thought, I knew that was going to be 3 points. Qarabaq was another team that was supposed to be 3 points. And this is one of the reasons why my head loss in, about the whole Bayern Munich game wasn't, I didn't lose my head as much because I was like, well, it's a league phase. So you win all those other games and you can still potentially be in a better position. You can't fumble essentially an easy game. You can't fumble it because you need to be in a better position on the table. Or maybe we should be getting, maybe we should be getting these kind of like a stronger team, because maybe we will perform in the round of 32, round of 16 and that. Because if you end up giving us an easy run, we might fumble it. So listen, very, very poor performance. And listen, we'll skip on to the next, whatever you want to call it. But before I do that,
bottle job. I don't want to hear that word injury. Players were moving out the house. One guy was playing with a little scratch. Oh, my guy lost his hair. Oh, one guy has a cough. He didn't take his lemsip today. I don't give a shit.
yeah, man, listen, I'll see you guys in the next one, man. You know what I mean? Peace.